Fancy some free beer this Christmas? Does Edson Alvarez love a booking? Does Michael Antonio love a podcast? The answer to all those questions is yes, of course. And it's Beer 52's award season where they celebrate the very best in independent craft breweries across the world with 8 new and exclusive beers you're not going to find anywhere else. All you need to do is go to beer52.com/West Ham and cover the postage of $5.95, and they'll send you out a free case of 8 exclusive beers straight away. I love Beer 52. I've been using them for a while. I love the fact that you get different beers every month, and this month is an absolute cracker as they celebrate the greatest talents in the craft global beer movement. For example, craft beer giants Omnipolo's Outer Galactic, cracking beer. It's really smooth, really drinkable pale ale, really hoppy, and really nicely rounded to ensure you're coming back for more and more. You can drink this one quite a lot. It's very nice indeed. But if you don't like dark beer, not a problem. Simply choose the light case, and don't forget you get a couple of tasty snacks too. You can also learn about all the fantastic breweries featured in your case with the award-winning Ferment magazine as well. So you find sort of the provenance and find out more about the story of the brewer that you're drinking. And even after all that, if you're still not satisfied, you can simply pause or cancel any time. So that's beer52.com/West Ham to claim your free case. That's beer52.com/West Ham. Look at you cutting.
I am sold in that intro. By the way, well done, Russie B. Well done. That was a good little cheeky intro. Good little cheeky shout out to our new channel sponsors, Beer 52. If you did not get what Russ was saying, make sure you do click on the link because you get literally, we're not joking you here, free beer. Free beer. Then after that, if you want to cancel it, you can. If not, you want to continue it, go for it. Keep continuing the subscription model. But your first selection is free. First selection is free. Get on.
And I've been getting on it already. It's Friday night.
I've always been getting on it.
And I've got
it's Friday,
second case.
Yeah.
And I've got the second case because they didn't send it to you. So I've got 2 cases.
I know they didn't. Yeah. That's on its way.
But it's Friday night. It's Late Show. Irish Tommy's not here. He's on his way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go.
It's a long way to Tipperary.
But obviously, we'll talk about the European game later on. Obviously, all roads lead to London Stadium again. Nottingham Forest on Sunday, 2 p.m. kickoff, and we've got a special guest.
We have a guest.
Special guest. We've had him on before last season. Loads of people. Some really nice comments afterwards in terms of Greg. He's really good Nottingham Forest fan, really nice bloke as well. And let's bring him in from Forza, Garibaldi. There he is. How are we doing, Greg? Let's put you in the middle. Rose in between 2 thorns.
Yeah, good. Nice intro that was. Hope we're going to live up to it for once.
No.
So, thank you.
No, you've been hanging about for 4 minutes, mate. Trying to come on.
I know. I just reminded myself going through lockdown and having some Beer 52 deliveries and putting the rare smile on my face. That's the first time I discovered
there we go.
them.
There it is. It's all in. It's all in.
Oh, is that my one? Is that my one, Russ?
This is my one. Your one's in the fridge.
Yeah. I've noticed.
But no.
How you doing, Greg? I know you're right.
Doing well.
Yeah, good. Looking forward to the weekend. It's always good to get down the capital and trains are running for once. So, yeah, it could be good.
Oh, are they? No strikes?
Yeah,
Did you say no strikes?
Don't tell Anton. He couldn't come to the Olympiacos game because of the train strikes. But, no, it was good. And obviously, going back, last week, great win against Villa. Wasn't it? Superb win. It's
unbelievable.
In the chat, Unai Emery is some guy that is one manager that West Ham fans are like, oh, we should be like Unai Emery and da. But you guys turned him over last weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, they just suited the way we played. They had such a high press. I mean, not as high as the team on Monday that played, but it just really suited our counter-attacking football, not having much possession. And when we got it, having a lot of the pitch to run at it. It reminded me of the days of watching Collymore where we got the ball on the halfway line and really went for it. So, yeah, it's exciting. It could have been more, to be honest. I don't think any of us expected that.
And that's the thing, though, isn't it, Greg? It's like everyone's talking about Emery, etc., but you're on such a fantastic home run. What is it Steve Cooper's doing, mate? Like, you've stuck by him as a boss. What's going on? What's going on at Forest?
I think he just gives fans belief. He gave us something that a lot of us thought, would never happen. So he's earned a lot of leeway when there's been some tough times last season, and even this season to an extent, there's been grumblings like there is at every club when you've not won every single game. But he just creates this belief around the club and this pride that you want to win, obviously for the badge, but just to see those fist bumps at the end of the game. And he's really brought some into this club that we haven't had for many years.
And it seems, it just seems, obviously, because the first season when we spoke last year, it was very much not the butt of all jokes, but everyone was saying out. There was always all the memes about the first training session at Forest. There were so many new signings coming in, and unlike other sides who maybe didn't spend as much and didn't bring in as many, you pretty much it was. Not sailing in not easy sailing, but it was now you've become a sort of an established Premier League side now, man, and it's like it's brilliant because Forest were one of those sides, weren't they? Where they're always in the top flight, and obviously you've had a lot of time not in the top flight, and they're back in a second year running, and Steve Cooper seems to be doing it, and obviously. We had your fellow owner. He was at the London Stadium on Thursday, Evangelos, and he'll be back here on Sunday as well. So maybe he's probably staying in the Holiday Inn in Stratford. Yeah. Just have to go all the way back up to Norwich and not Nottingham back, but
Norwich.
I know.
We've been called worse. I'll let you off with that one.
But it's great. I mean, I for some, there's a lot of sides that come up to the Premier League, and they'll be. But I love the way you guys have just taken it. And again, more players brought in, But it just seems Steve Cooper just seems to get a tune out of the team, just seems to get it, and it's really refreshing. In a day where you've got the likes of Unai Emery, you've got all these sort of foreign managers coming in. Steve Cooper's just doing the job, man.
And and we expected that change. That you say about the foreign managers and that different way of the way that the modern management's going or coaching's going. That's why we really expected it. Not so much this time last year, but a few months into it, and to keep him through those real tough times now. I think he's hopefully going to reap his rewards. And I don't know what success for us is this season, but. It wasn't many years ago that West Ham were in the Championship, and now winning European Cups already. It's crazy, and I get on a little dreamland every so often. I'm known as someone who's a little bit positive on our circles, but it's just if you haven't got something to dream for with your football club, then what's the point in it? And he gives you that. He does.
No, definitely, man. I mean, that's the thing, though, as well. Like when you've just mentioned it there, Greg, as well. When you're a fan of you support Forest. We all know the history of Forest, but you're looking at West Ham, who obviously coming off the back of a conference victory. What I find more intriguing is what your opinion is of West Ham from an outsider's point of view, when me and Russ live and breathe it every single minute of our day. And I'm intrigued to know what your thoughts are. Like, what do you look at when you see West Ham's success last season in the Europa Conference League? 3 seasons in a row in Europe. Right now, as a Nottingham Forest fan, what's your kind of judgment on West Ham and where we're at?
Well, I'll start by saying, at the start of this, every single game last season for Forest was like a cup final. And then the start of this season, Luton, Sheffield United at home, there's a real lull. There's a real lack of excitement almost in the ground. And you feel like once you become an established Premier League club, and a club, say, I'm certainly not jinxing you by saying this, a top half team or a mid-table team, there's a fear of becoming complacent, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I think you winning that trophy last year, a trophy that a couple of years ago, I mean, nobody would have seen that coming, would they? I think it gives so many different clubs a lot of belief. And I always look at Brighton more than West Ham for Forest. You know, they spent the first 4 or 5 years, I think, in the bottom 6 of the Premier League, and now they're in Europe. I mean, we don't want to be that team, like, no offence to Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace are going to finish 12th from now until 2050, aren't they? Always seem to be there. We want to be that team that wins a trophy. And that's why I think it surprises me with just having a quick look like on your timeline and seeing things like that. There seems to be a bit of discontent at the minute, don't they? And
Well, I
you know, when you're not watching
yeah.
a team 24/7,
That's
that
what
really
I mean.
made me
Yeah, it's intriguing to know.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's probably the same. You know, same. I think within each sort of fan base, really, there's obviously people who have different opinions. You said yourself, you're very positive, you know, Forest fan. I think me and Anton like to consider ourselves quite positive West Ham fans. And obviously, for every positive one, the reason why you're positive is because there's people who are negative. So naturally, there is going to be a schism in terms of the fan base. I think there's a bit of not complacency, but I think, you know, we've been in Europe now 3 years, and we haven't been in Europe for years before then. And you know, we've sort of struggled a little bit this year. We've lost a game, basically. We've lost one game, you know, and because we lost that one game, the heavens sort of caved in, it seemed.
What kind of really falls down to the style of play, though. I think that's the kind of biggest issue, and a lot of people kind of judge David Moyes is a kind of dinosaur manager, and how many more times is he going to get given? One more game to prove that he is going to be the West Ham manager. You know, we hear leaks coming from the clubs and from inside the club, and last year he had one game to save his job, and then he won it, and then he had another game to save his job, and then he won that, and there's that kind of element that, you know, every now and then he gets that job. So why are we sticking by? That's where some of the fan base are, where the other side of the fan base are looking at 3 years on the trot in European football, doing well in European football, not just because we won the Conference League, but getting to the semi-finals of Europa League the first year, and now sitting top of our group after 4 games again in Europa League, and having a couple of good seasons mixed in with a couple of bang average seasons. And it's the style of play that's really affecting them. And I think the question I want to ask to you, Greg, is, as a Nottingham Forest fan, under the style of football that you're playing, you just mentioned it there against Emery, you know, they played the high press and you broke in on the counter, and that's how you defeated them. So what is the style of play that Forest are doing right now? And is it working, in your opinion? Is it what the fans want? What is it that you want as a fan of Forest?
It's working. Our style of play, I'd say, would work against the more established teams. We really struggled against your Lutons because it seemed like we had too much possession, as ridiculous as that sounds. We've been used to fighting for our lives for a season and getting 25, 35% possession. Then suddenly, like, they're letting us have the ball, and it's like, let's see what you can do. So I think we're just a very organised team, a team that's, you know, used to chops and changes. We've had many injuries, but there always seems to be next man up. Like, there seems to be that real camaraderie where if you've gone down or if you've not played well, Steve Cooper said about Matt Turner last week, he made a big mistake against Liverpool, and he'd made one in a previous week, but he said he's not got dropped for that. We don't kill a player when they make a mistake. We get behind him. And I loved that. And like, I believed that as well, but we're under no illusions that, like, we're certainly not an established Premier League team yet, and we're not going to be. I feel like with West Ham, style of play is so important now because you've been there so long, and it's like, well, just winning a game or just getting top 8 and then getting in Europe isn't going to be good enough. You really need to see a change where we're still in that exciting honeymoon period where just being here puts a smile on your face.
I think that's a really interesting way of looking at it, Greg, to be honest. I think you're probably right. I think that's probably where the dissension has come. Not dissension, that's the wrong word, but it is, maybe you're right. Maybe, as you said, you know, the Crystal Palaces of this world, where they're sort of going to finish between 10th and 12th every season. They're not going to really do anything. And it's like, we seem to have been doing something now, and it's almost like it's the next progression, isn't it? And I think sometimes, I mean, myself and Anton, we look back at it and go, well, look where we were. So, yeah, we haven't won a trophy for 43 years, and then we win a trophy. And the first thing some of the fan base do is, oh, it's only a third-rate trophy. It's the third best European
Snap
trophy.
your hand off right
Exactly,
there for that.
exactly. And I think sometimes we don't realise actually it's a fucking trophy. And where we were, as you said, you said we were in the Championship, and we were, under, a bit of a yo-yo side for a while, and now we're sort of, this is the longest period I think we've been in the top flight in our history, I believe, as well, or very close to it. Certainly in the Premier League history, if not the in sort of even the early 90s, 10, 12 years now, or 12 years, because it's the age of flow, because that's how it was. Playoff final was a birthday due date. But it's just, I think, and again, I think you're totally right. It's really interesting thinking of it from an outsider's perspective. And that's why I love getting opposition fans on, because it sort of gives a bit of clarity and sort of looking out in rather than in out, because the in out, you're in this bubble, pardon the pun, and you sort of think the world's crashing down inside you. But actually, when you think about other, you said yourselves, it's still the honeymoon period, in all honesty, isn't it, really? And there will be a point in time where it's like, well, now we're established. It's the next step. It is qualifying for Europe. It is getting into now. Obviously, it could be 8th, could be in Europe this year as well. And so it's getting to the latter stages of the cups and stuff like that as well, and that type of thing.
There's a player I want to talk to you about, though, Greg, that a lot of West Ham fans like the look of, because there's a similarity in the style of play that he maybe offers that what one of our kind of more recent successful Premier League players in Mickey Antonio has been. Of course, Antonio from the past, been involved with your club previously, but you've got a player called Awoniyi. I'm terrible with the pronunciations. I'm going to Taiwo
Awoniyi.
There you go.
That's how I'd say it.
Awoniyi.
Big T. He's a big lad.
Big T.
Yeah, that's the one.
He's a big lad. He causes defenses problems. I mean, I know there's going to be other players there, but that's one I'm kind of got a keen interest in. Not just from being a point of view going, well, West Ham are looking at him, that means West Ham are going to get him. I don't mean it like that. I just mean it like,
year.
Well, of course, I think we do. Yeah, I think he would fit our system really, really well. But that's not coming from a place of snobbery and going, we'll take your player off you because we're West Ham. It doesn't mean anything like that. So, yeah, I'm intrigued to know what your thoughts are of him and any other players that
that you might want.
Yeah, well, everyone in the chat's thought about Gibbs White.
What's Gibbs White up to nowadays? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Taiwo. No, you don't want him. No good.
He's rubbish. He's rubbish.
No, I absolutely agree with you about the Antonio comparison. I love Taiwo. His strength, he's got speed, his eye for goal. The biggest thing that lets him down is his injuries. He keeps getting injured, and it kills us, because I think he scored in like the first 6 games, and we almost build around him, but he gets injured. He does, and I'm not just saying that as a little joke now. To hands off. And
Antonio's the same.
If we could get 25 games out of him this season, I'd be. It's tough with him because he is so good. Like, he really can be good, and he never got to show it previously in England. He showed it over in Germany, and he's brought it to here. And, he did have a little bit of a shaky start. He almost looked a little bit clumsy, and then he's really got into it now. And if he plays, then you have a lot more hope as a Forest fan.
Yeah, they're true. Particularly
injury prone.
Yeah, well, I think it's perfect for West Ham, to be honest. I mean, obviously, there's a few players out, isn't there? A few guys, Chris Wood, who I'm really happy he's out, because he is one of those players who doesn't matter what side he plays for, he always scores against you. Always scores against West Ham as Chris Wood. So I'm glad that he's not playing. But as you said,
Can I just say about that? Never trust Steve Cooper with injuries.
Oh, okay.
Chris Wood was in full training today.
Oh, what? Greg!
Thanks,
why do you say that, man?
You've literally just ruined our weekend.
That's it.
There's just certain players in life, Greg, that come round and smack us in the face, no
Moyes.
matter what they're at. No, but even going further back, you think of
Glenn
Michael Owen, Glenn Murray, players like that, Lukaku. Just no matter where they are in their career, they'll just turn up. They could be out of form, and they play West Ham, and you can see those players licking their lips. They're licking their lips, going, "Yes, I'm so glad we're coming up against West Ham." Callum Wilson. We've got quite a long list, actually. Chris Wood is another.
Because a lot of people score against us. That's why. Yeah. But I mean, like Neil Mopai hadn't scored for God knows how many games they get for Brentford and Everton, and he scores on, and he could have had 2 or 3. I get last
Yeah.
weekend against us. Bloody Neil Mopai, can't stand him. I don't know why we just don't buy him all.
Yeah, but you've just reeled off all those players that score against you, and like half of them are world-class names or names you remember forever. Ours were like League One players against us that were always scoring. So no sympathy.
Talking about the game ahead, obviously, as you said, you've got they had the Villa game coming up. Obviously, a great game against Villa. What's your expectations for Sunday? What are you thinking? Obviously, we played on Thursday as well. So we played Olympiacos, Evangelos' team on Thursday. So, you've had a free week, so to speak. Confident going to London Stadium?
I think last season really affected me, this West Ham game, because I thought we hung on for 70 minutes. We made the subs and then capitulated. So I'm certainly not confident. I'd love to think that we will give just give a better showing of ourselves. I looked at our team from last season, by the way, this team that had so much money spent on it, and I thought, how did we stay up? You forgot about some of them and thought, God, John Joe Shelby was like the main player looking at you when you looked at the starting 11. And I just think we are a lot stronger this time. We're a lot more organised. We've had a couple of results away from home already and a couple of performances. The Arsenal performance start of the season, lost 2-1. The Man U one was so close to getting something, but we did beat Chelsea. We got a draw at Palace where we should have won. So there's no reason we shouldn't go into this not expecting but hopeful of coming out of something. If you offered me a draw right now, I'd absolutely take it, if I'm honest. But just last season, really, it was one of those games that really affected me, thinking, God, like, this is tough. You can't be switched on for 70 minutes, then just, do and
it's
that.
Funny, I feel like a lot of West Ham fans felt about that the first game we played at your stadium, when I think we should have had a penalty. Was it, Russ? Was it quite a blatant penalty, or was it a slide goal or something?
Didn't number 41 miss a penalty? I think he did.
Yeah. And I think we kind of walked out of that because we were coming off a bit of decent. We were playing well. We were trying to convert chances. We were drawing games and stuff like that. And then obviously the return game at the London Stadium, I can see why you felt aggrieved until the last kind of 20 minutes, etc. And that, the game has got such an importance at the weekend. Listen, there's another bloody international break coming up.
No,
it's so frustrating.
Everyone's the same. Everyone's the same. Oh, an international break.
Yeah. So
I swear they never used to be so many, but there must have been. It's like every other week, isn't it? It kills the momentum, and I'm going to go and watch Mansfield play next Saturday because I need to do something, because the last one just lasted too long.
It's like I just have until obviously Jared Bowen got called up. I had no interest in the England squad at all. I only watch it to see if he gets played, and as long as he doesn't get injured. That's what I used to do all when Declan Rice was playing for England and playing at West Ham. Just make sure not I can do anything that me watching he's gonna I put like a cursor to make sure he doesn't get injured, but that's all I used to do, or just check it. And it's like I really have it's really weird with England, but come the Euros, I'm such a turncoat. I'll be watching everything.
Same.
I'll have the face paint, and Anton have the flags in Scotland, the England flags, but like I just hate the international breaks. It just breaks up the momentum. It's really bad. Although we might get a second player potentially get called up, with Maddison getting not getting the older. He's been pulled out,
right.
So
get the call up. Yeah, he pulled out.
It could get maybe JWP could get called up. No, probably Sterling.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of defensive players, but one in particular I want to talk about. You signed them from Wolves, Willy Boley. How important has he been to Forest since he's joined the club?
Yeah, he's got that level head. I thought he was going to be a squad player, and he's far from it. Especially when we've gone through all our injuries and the million centre backs we've gone through. He's when he plays well, and he's just someone to rely on. Yeah, I don't know whether you were going to get on to Murillo, the other centre back, the Brazilian, but he's the real excitement, I think, and he's the one. When you see him, when you see his age and where he's come from, the unheard side of things, and when you've got Bolly next to him telling him what, how to do things, if you were to ask me about anyone in our squad with the potential to go for mega money in a couple of years ago, Murillo would be the first name I'd think of. The small snippets of things he's shown us, but also his level-headedness and his defensive prowess. He's so exciting for me.
Yeah.
I think people love that, as well as it's those sort of unknowns. When you were the sign Morello, you'd have gone, "Who the fuck is this bloke?"
Oh, none of us had heard of him.
No. And if he had, it's because you probably done about 5 minutes worth of YouTube googling just to see some clips. But those are the players I love to be proved wrong. And obviously we're getting that a bit now. So it's kinda in that Tim Steinden, he's not necessarily going out and buying people that maybe we would know, like established names in the Premier League. We're going out and buying people like Mavropanos, who we know is a good player from the Bundesliga, and Edson Alvarez and Kudus, and really good players. But maybe from afar, we don't really know too much about them, and even more so at the moment with looking at the Brazilian market and stuff like that. That's what I really enjoy. I love finding this bloke. Who the fuck is he? And he just all like. I hark back to Craig when we signed Craig Dawson, and the football world were laughing at us, and he was absolutely brilliant. And
I know Wolves are laughing at everyone.
Yeah,
they've got
exactly.
He's their favourite player. He's their favourite player by a million miles. But yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of quality players within the Forest squad. But we've got the return of Czech Kouati. I mean, he's still pumping out appearances for the club. I think, what has he got? 7 already this season at Forest. I mean, I love the geezer. We've got such a amount of respect for the geezer when he played his time at West Ham.
Yeah, I was just trying to think if there's any others. I don't think there is there? But yeah, he's just another one that I love. And it's having this just arrived into. I've got a tip jersey, by the way. I should have put it on.
It's a long way to go. It's been a long way to go for him.
He's just another one of those. We've got youth in a side, but then we've got the experience of your Kyotes and your Bollies, and I really like that. I love that mix, but it's just when the injuries happen, who's coming up next, next man up, and Bolly and Kyote probably wouldn't have expected to be starting players this season, if I'm honest.
No.
I love Czech.
We've all got a bit of a soft spot for him, and he was with us during the final season at Upton Park, and he was influential.
He was one of those guys. So when during the last, I remember particularly the last season at Bowling, I sat there and watched a game with him and Diafra in the Europa when we played Birkirkara randomly. But when we had the open training sessions, he was always one of the last players to leave. He would sign everyone. He would take a picture with everyone, and where the likes of Cresswell and that they would have fucked off, got home, had a shower. They'd have been home. He was still there signing things. Love him, absolutely lovely bloke.
There is another player that West Ham were linked to several windows, for lots of windows, and then suddenly Forest plucked him out of the trees and brought him in from Milan, and it's Divock Origi. He got him for £5 million. I know he's not featured a huge amount, but he's starting to kind of get a little bit more game time under Cooper.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. No, go for it.
No, it was just a real surprise, that one. When you say plucked out of, absolutely it was. Didn't expect it. He's another one like Chris Wood, who's been told that he's training again now this week because he's been injured. So if one of them plays, but I remember you doing this last season to me. You kept giving me hope with things like this, and it didn't.
Yeah, but we did.
Right,
but we gave you 70 minutes of hope last time, Greg, and you didn't keep the end of the bargain up, and then you scored 4 goals. But no, it's true. Yeah, I mean, Origi, he's a name very similar to Jesse Lingard, who we were for 2 or 3 consecutive transfer windows we were linked with. Divock Origi, we're going to get him. No, he's gone to Milan. No, he's coming to West Ham. Same with Jesse Lingard. You got him, and
we are yet to see much of him, though. We really are.
But that's the concern. He's the sort of
that's the trouble. That's the trouble. Greg.
And that's not even, I know you said that when you spoke to Russ last year, and I remember watching the video, that it gave you a little bit of false sense of hope. But the thing with West Ham is, it's not West Ham without that, feeling that we've got right now, which is Chris Wood and Divock Origi, and you've got so much more better quality players, but the ones we fear the most are Chris Wood and David because we're just like, oh fuck, here they go again. Here we go again. It's just like that same old meme. It's like, oh no.
The Chris Wood conversations we were having at the beginning of the season was he's not going to feature, he's not going to play, and he's been crucial, especially with Taiwo being injured again, and crucial goals already. So I'd be very happy if he was there.
So Greg, in the last couple of games, West Ham have been attempting something a little bit new, which is a high press. It's a bit out of character, and we did it against Arsenal in the League Cup, and it worked a treat. We convincingly beat Arsenal 3-1.
Yeah, I watched that.
And it was a fantastic game to watch in terms of offering the opposition most of the possession, but just trapping them and keeping them in their own half. We did it against Brentford, and we dominated in the first half. We backed off in the second half, and that's where we lost the game. Against Olympiacos in Europa League, we couldn't do it, but Olympiacos refused to let us do it because they refused to play the ball out from the back. Do Forest play the ball out from the back, like every other Premier League team does? Because that will give us a bit of an insight into what Moyes might do for the game at the weekend.
We do, but we've also had our best success this season by playing a team with the high press in Aston Villa.
Interesting.
Cooper, I'm sure Steve Cooper was at the game yesterday. I'd be amazed if he wasn't, especially as our owner would have been there, and a lot of the team, I'd imagine.
Exactly, but have a nice box.
Yeah, I'd like you to press that to play the high press purely because of what we saw against Aston Villa, and you've got that big pitch, haven't you? Which we could hopefully get. It's about the counter attack for us, and a team with the high press offers us the counter. The only thing is, against Villa, I've never seen us have so many offsides. I think there's something like 8 or 9. It got ridiculous. So, if you're good with your offside trap, then it shouldn't be too many problems.
Well, VAR came to our help yesterday, in all honesty. For everyone that was moaning about VAR, because of VAR, we ended up winning the game. So it's, it's going to be fascinating on our side in terms of what we do, because I just can't, we just don't know whether Moyes is going to keep going with this high press, not playing Antonio, playing Bowen up top, or whether he's going to revert back to type like he did against Brentford.
I think that's the thing, though. In the last couple of games, we've kind of been unpredictable in terms of what we're going to do, and even in the same game, we've changed it quite dramatically. I mean, the Brentford game for me was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like the first half, that was great, and then the second half, it was so demoralizing, and it's tough. And like you said, Russ, you just don't know what's going to happen. But again, one thing we probably do know is Greg, and I think Moyes would have done his due diligence, and I think Steve Cooper's not done any different, is he's not changed it. So he wants the opposition to have the ball. And sometimes West Ham struggle, actually, when we have the ball. And you might find it might be a game of going, punt forward, there you go.
No, you have it. No, you have it.
There you go. No, you have it. No, you have it. No, you have it. Depending on Moyes' tactics. So it could be the battle of the tactics that wins this game.
Oh Christ, no chance then for us.
The thing that fears me the most is obviously like Ward-Prowse and his free kicks, his set pieces and stuff like that. So
he found his range a little bit. I mean, he's been out of sorts the last few games, but against Olympiacos, he found his range a little bit. And Agard could have easily had a hat trick of goals from headers in the first half, and so. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
So, I mean, I think a lot of he's been in for a bit of stick the last couple of games. Started off the season phenomenally well. He's still not scored a free kick for us yet, but his ability to find the player is ridiculous. And when you rewatch the goal that we scored last night against Olympiacos, when we needed the best out of a player, we got the best from him, and then got the best from Paqueta. And when you rewatch the goal back, it is that good. It is that good. It's the dink. It's the perfect weight. It's the perfect height.
The best one is on, I think it's on TikTok or Twitter. Someone's been recording it, and he shouts out, "Play it wide!" And literally, he just turns around, and just dinks it over the top. He's like, "Okay." Goal.
Yeah.
Do you know that Brian Clough comment you just put on the screen? We've done our fan group have just done our first ever mural, and we used a West Ham guy's company murals.
Oh, Nash, murals.
Mark
Yeah.
Oh, it was brilliant. So we've got this huge mural in the middle of Nottingham now. Brian Clough, and also Notts County's greatest ever manager as well. But so I had a good good West Ham chat with him, and I might be seeing him at the game. Actually,
they're top boys, Murals, and they've just done
it's incredible.
Some of the stuff they do brilliant, and they do it in your kid's bedroom as well. So they could do they should do when Anton gives a room to Freddie, he could get like the he's not listening, he's gone to bed, so that's all right. But he could have like like the changing room, and like he's in like Paqueta, and it's amazing what they all do. I'm trying to get him to do it here. I'm trying to get him to do it, one of them, like Nasher, to do his wall, but
well, the guy who did ours, because obviously they do it overnight, so it's a big surprise in the day.
Yeah.
As he started doing it, like some sirens went by, and he was like looking around, saying, "I still can't get used to being able to do this for a living, like legitimately."
So true. But they've got the license with like Liverpool and stuff like that as well. And West Ham, they're like the official street artist of this club and this club. Brilliant. And they do a TalkSport podcast as well. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
I didn't mean to give a free ad then. Sorry, it's just
so I'm definitely going to get a Moyes mural. Don't worry, you won't need to worry about me getting a mural in the bedroom. It's going to be a statue at the stadium. So
I'll shove it like over on the top of the bedroom. So
no, Russ. Everyone knows it's happening, mate. He's going to get a statue outside the stadium, and it's going to piss people off so much more. But that's where Russ is going to do his new interviews from, outside the David Boyce statue in the London Stadium.
Boyce statue.
Greg, with the game obviously coming up at the weekend, I mean, predictions is definitely something we need to ask you about. I mean, are you feeling confident? Are you feeling concerned, nervous? And on top of that, what is your prediction for the game?
It's strange after speaking to you both now. I think I always thought
12-0 to
Chris Wood, double hat trick.
Yeah,
I did always think a draw, but I think it'll be a score draw. I think we'll get a goal now with this high press, and Chris Wood maybe being there. But I do think we've away from home, keeping a clean sheet is something critical. Something we're still trying to work on for a few more games. So I'm going to say 1-1.
I'm really shit myself.
1-0 for how long has there been since it's been a 1-0 at West Ham?
I don't know.
I can't think of that. Yeah,
I'm really shitting myself now about Chris Wood. Thanks, Greg. Because at the moment, in terms of our injuries, the only one who could be potentially out is Zuma. He's been missing. He's been injured for the last couple of weeks now, and I don't think he'll be back. If they don't need to really bring him back until after the international break, but up against Naif and Mavropanos play better, I think, against a less physical forward line. And Chris Wood is the complete opposite to that. And actually, so is Teo as well. Thinking about it, he's such a big unit.
It's a proper heavyweight battling it back there.
I'd like Teo to start. If he's fit, he'll start. And then if Chris Wood has been training, then get him on for the last 20 minutes. If we're close, then that'll be a nice one.
Holy shit!
Even if he's not,
even if he doesn't play, then I'm all right with that. It's funny, isn't it? It's ridiculous. I know what you're saying, no, Greg. Like you live and breathe the club, and the last thing you think of is why are fans so fucking scared of Chris Wood? Then we have nightmares about the geezer. So
I like
him.
it.
Could you imagine him with a front line of him and Glenn Murray together? Oh God, that'd be like every West Ham fans is and Callum Wilson just in playing in the hole.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, a draw could be a good shout. I could see more of a Desmond, a 2-2, because I think West Ham will concede. I think we're more than capable of scoring goals.
Yeah.
We just need it. I feel like when West Ham are going forward, we just need it to click a little bit. When we feel like we're starting to click, Kudus is frighteningly good at going forward and can take on 4 or 5 players, no problem at all. We've got Paqueta can do something from nothing, being a bit complacent over the last couple of games, and he's been giving the ball away in dangerous areas that's led to our defence then making errors. But the worst thing for us was the last game. We were missing 2 key players, Paqueta and Alvarez, that are now back for the game. And I think Alvarez really closes that midfield and shocks. He's a full-blown shocker. Like if there's one thing you're going to guaranteed get at the weekend, you're going to get an Alvarez yellow card. Yeah. And quite possibly a Paqueta yellow card, actually. The more I think about it, if you're going to make a betting man, I know that's a bit controversial
for
Paqueta. But the situation is put a bet on the walk away with a yellow card at the end of the game.
Alvarez has got 7 yellow cards in 14 appearances so far for West Ham.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. So
he's relentless. He's like a pit bull terrier.
Yeah.
If you've got any players on the feet, he'll go and any trickery players, he targets them. He goes straight for them, and he tries to set up the tone. And that can play silly buggers with West Ham because it can work in our favour, but then can detriment us. For example, against Olympiacos, he got booked in the 18th minute. Coincidentally, did not deserve to get booked in the 18th minute because it was a beautiful tackle. The referee made a boo-boo giving him it, but it meant that Moyes had to actually go from the sidelines and say, calm it down.
Yeah. And he actually got subbed off.
I'm not sure. I'm not certain whether he will. But if Ryan Yates plays, then I can guarantee you, guy will get a yellow card then, because the best thing he can, he just gets people to foul him constantly. I think he was like our most fouled player by a country mile last season. So,
well, to be honest with you, Alvarez fouls everyone, mate. Yeah. So he'll foul Yates.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Everyone. It doesn't matter who it is. He's just stuck at people's feet. Like, he's relentless. And I was a bit kind of concerned about him coming in, especially after number 41 leaving the club. But I've seen why he's got lots of Champions League experience and he's played at the highest level with Ajax, albeit it's in a different league. But yeah, I think it's got potential to be a high scoring game.
Definitely.
And a Desmond, I think, could be a good shout as well.
Yeah, definitely. Let's play a little game before we can go, Greg, because we've spoken about a lot of players, and we spoke about the players who played for both sides. There's a lot of players who have played for both West Ham and Nottingham Forest. And do you know what? I've stopped when people say Notts Forest. I hate that. So I tell you, Nottingham. Do you know what?
I like you even more now.
It winds me up. It's like it's Notts County, Nottingham Forest. Honestly, really winds me up. Because when I was at uni, I was at Loughborough, and my and the guy who did East Midlands today was a guy called Jerry Nicholas, who was the announcer at West Ham. So we knew each other quite well, and that was his biggest bugbear when Nottingham Forest played. It was like at Upton Park. It's Nottingham, not Notts Forest. Anyway. So let's play a game. See, let's see.
I'm rubbish at these.
Don't worry, it's only a bit of fun. And it's for the chat as well. It's for the chat. This isn't a completely exhaustive list of players that have played for both clubs, but it's pretty much most of the ones lose. Have a lose. Right. So and we've mentioned a few of them already. So we can always tick them off. So okay, I'll give you some to start off with. I'll make it a bit easier. We'll take Mikel Antonio.
Yeah.
Mikel Antonio.
My first one. Go on.
We'll take Checo out as well. All right. Just shout them out. And in the chat,
Teddy Sheringham.
Teddy Sheringham. God bless Teddy Sheringham. See?
I'm done.
That's it. And I'm out. Thank you very much. And in the chat, if anyone we've got Psycho Pierce. Yep, Stuart Pearce is there. Piercey.
God, what a disgrace! I didn't put him first.
I know. We went with Sheringham over him. Some of these are a bit like older, so we'll get some of the older ones. We'll get Franz Carr played a little bit for both sides. Let's get a few.
Marlon Hayward.
Well done.
Yeah, Marlon was great.
Who's played for West Ham.
You must have liked Marlon as well, wasn't you? He was at a game on Sunday. I've not seen him for ages. And
he'll be at the game. He's a club ambassador.
There's
There's
a really good video that was released of the playoff final when Bobby Zamora done a vlog. It was like it was a vlog using the old school camera, and they released a DVD. And on it was honestly, I had so much laughter at it because they called him Vicehead because his ears are pinned back, and they kept calling it like his head's been put in between a vice, and they refused to call him anything else. Anytime they spoke to him, like, pass the ball, Vicehead, give me the ball, Vicehead, give me a cup of coffee, Vicehead. He was getting so wound up by it. It was so funny.
He got so much shit,
Man.
Henry Lansbury, friend of the channel. We had him on last week, a couple of weeks ago. He
that shall not be named, or should be named, Jesse Lingard.
Yeah. Henry Lansbury, who now owns a grass company. There we go.
He spoke really well on Sky Sports News the other day. I've not heard from him in ages. I never knew he'd been through all that.
I didn't know any of that, and I'd interviewed him for we spoke for 2.5 hours.
I think it was when he was at Forest as well.
Yeah, someone messaged me. Did you know he had cancer then? And I was like, no. And
testicular cancer.
Yeah, Xander Silva. Well done. There we go.
Can you see I'm just deflected now because I got
Yeah,
one and retired.
Just let the chat do it. Matt Upson, yeah, Matthew Upson, the last person ever to wear the number 6 shirt at West Ham. Gary Charles, very good. Yeah, Gary Charles. What we got here? Colin Foster, yes, Colin Foster, well done. What we got? We've got Nigel Quasi. Sorry, Nigel Quasi never played for either club. Nigel Quasi.
Got to be some goalkeeper.
What's the fullback?
Yes. Come on.
He's at the club now. He's at the club now. Is he at the club now? At the women's team?
No, he was. He was. Friend of the channel.
Conch.
Conch.
Paul Konchesky.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Friend of the channel. There's a lot of friend of the channel on this.
Sorry.
We've got let's have a look. Who else we got? We've got. Let me have a quick look. Oh, there's still some good. There's some good ones. There's some good ones. There's some not good ones.
Is it? I take it's first team appearances. It's not like in your youth set up and came to us.
It's first team, or he's been the first team squad. So I mean, I'll give you this one. This is a very loose one. Peter Shilton was in the first team squad for West Ham, but never played a game.
Oh, you've got the asterisks. Yeah, that's
the asterisk. See, I've put an asterisk next to it because there we go. Well, yeah, Martin have already done it, so you're too late. Right, so let's have a look. We've got let's go with a right back. Was always injured for West Ham. London Stadium era. Come on, Anton.
Is he no Sam Byram? Did it Sam Byram?
Sam Byram.
Yes, we did, yeah.
Sam Byram. This is great fun. Okay.
It's the CC one. I want to say his name, and then I'm not sure he's even.
Oh, that's the CC. Played a lot of games for you.
Yeah, but it's not Chris Cohen, is it?
It is Chris Cohen.
It's Chris Cohen. Yeah,
that's why. When did he play for you then?
He was in the youth team. He was part of the.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobles. So around when Mark Noble joined, got into the first team, same time.
Good shout. This is a good shout, Andrew MP.
Great, yes, it is. Andy, he was at the game the other day. Andy Impey was at the game the other day.
He's still about, isn't he?
We signed him at the same time as Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, we did.
Double whammy from QPR.
Double whammy. Let's have a look. We've got. I'm looking at the sides. We've got. I will take Justin Fashion. You weren't going to get that one. Let's go with striker. Striker early 90s. I'm thinking pony shirt around the Tony
Ian Wright.
era. Ian Wright, no, but that he's there. Ian Wright was there.
Did he not play in the pony shirt?
Yeah, he did, but I'm thinking about the other pony shirt. I'm thinking about the
fucking hell. How many pony shirts do you want to talk about?
The Tony Cotty one with the V's, the Trevor Morley ones, that era. Let's have a look. Who else we got? There's one. There's some brilliant ones here. We've had Teddy. That was the first one. That was
didn't play for Forest, did he? No.
Who?
No, John Hartson didn't play for Forest.
No, John Hartson.
See, this is the thing. You don't want to. I didn't want to shout some out and get crucified.
John. The first name's John.
John.
What's this? Is your 90s one?
This was. He would have probably been 90s. It's not that person. That's someone else. Elliot Ward. Yeah, Elliot Ward. I saw him on Friday. He's doing well. Old Elliot Ward. He's there. John. He was a fullback.
You know Matt, who you started speaking to on the email chain about doing our Q&A. He would get if he's watching this now, he's shouting at the screen saying how rubbish I am. He's an absolute encyclopedia.
I'll give you this one. It was John Harkes. Do you remember John Harkes, American man, American fullback? There we go. Okay, let's give you. This is one you will. Well, you won't get, Anton. Stephen. He's a goalkeeper.
Oh.
Not a very good one.
Is he still a player?
I don't know. If he is, he's going to be very, very low down. Very, very low down in the. I'll Stephen Henderson. Do you remember Stephen Henderson, the goalkeeper? Look at Anton's face. Clearly not. Let's go. Okay, let's go with. If I give you the first name, Lee.
Not Chapman.
Lee Chapman. Chapman, early days at Forest, like towards the beginning of his career.
Cloughie's lads.
Yeah, one of Cloughie's boys he was. Let's go with. You're going to get this one straight away if I go. Carl
Jenkinson.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Carl Jenkinson. Right, what we got here? We got Adam
Newton.
Nope. Midfielder. He was part of the. Rio Coca age.
Oh,
So this was champion. So this would have been championship. Oh,
is it not Adam Newton?
No, Adam Newton was a fullback. He was a youth fullback.
I know who I'm talking about, and I can't get his name. I cannot. I know exactly. I can picture the player.
Adam Nolan.
Noland.
Nolan. Yeah, that's what you're thinking. Two more. We got Andy, centre half, old school centre half. Played for Fulham as well. This would have been championship as well. I think early 2000s for us. Anton's head's gone. Melville.
I'm not getting this. No.
Anti-Melville. And this one, brilliant one. Brilliant one. I think he was only at Forest for about 6 months. I'll go with the first name, and Anton, you're going to get straight away. Hugo.
Porfirio.
Oh, lovely Hugo Porfirio. That's a lot of people, isn't it? That's a lot of people. And they, there's probably a load more, but I just thought it was a bit of fun. Bit of fun.
Yeah, it's
bit
good
of fun.
like that.
Bit of fun. There we go. We don't do it Greg, we don't do it for everyone.
That was good. I enjoy it. I think I got 1.5. So
there we go. You see, so everyone's a winner. Greg, man, it's been a pleasure. Really, really nice for you to come on, man. And we always love you coming on. As I said, we always get some really good comments afterwards, and everyone's always very, very positive. Jordan liked the quiz. There we go. But yeah, and obviously we wish you the very best the rest of the season after Sunday.
No, I appreciate coming on. Hopefully we'll be on again next year talking about the top 6 push. But let's see.
Obviously we'll have the return leg, won't we? We'll have the City ground leg, and sure
we'll be in the Champions League when we win the Europa.
Yeah, exactly. See, it's
exactly.
rubbing off.
Exactly. Brilliant. But I really appreciate it, particularly on a Friday night, man, coming on and having a chinwag with us, our two roustabouts. But thank you very much, man.
Plus, Greg, if you want some free beer, get yourself over there to beer52.com/West Ham. You just need to pay for postage, $5.95. You get 8 cans of beer, 2 snacks, funky cans of beer. Beer52.com/West Ham.
I can highly recommend the Omnipolo Outer Galactic. It's very good.
Highly recommend if you've not drank it. It's not open.
Thank you very much. Did you not watch the video?
Yeah, I did.
That's the one I drank at 9 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, that's why I'm still a bit like Eddie today. Anyway, mate, we'll let you go, man, and have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you around, man.
Yeah, see you, buddy. Enjoy your weekend.
You too, man. Or we will until Sunday. Thank you, mate. Take care, man. See ya. Let's kick you out. There we go. Top man. I love Greg. He's such a nice bloke.
Yeah, good geezer. Good
such
geezer.
Such a nice bloke. Oh well. I'm shitting myself now about what's name now. About Sunday a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not, mate. I'm just.
I know you're not.
I'm intrigued. No, I'm intrigued about. I am, and I'm not. But I'm just intrigued about the whole situation. What we're gonna do. Fuck knows, mate. Fuck knows. It is what it is. Just turn up, do a job, get it done, get the 3 points, feel confident, have an international break, come back and start again.
I know, and it's so. I don't think people can comprehend. Have really sort of looked at the fixture list. Really, when we come back, it is relentless.
It is.
It's absolutely relentless. As I said, there's a period where we've got 4 games in 9 days, including Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. We've got the last game. Is that when we play the last game? That we play the Freiburg game, and then we play in between the Liverpool game. We play Wolves at home and Man United.
Well, for your reference, if you do it this way, the 25th of November, Burnley away. 30th of November, back at Tapola away. 3rd of December, Crystal Palace at home. 7th of December, Spurs away. 10th of December, Fulham away. 14th of December, Freiburg at home. 17th of December, Wolves at home. 20th of December, Liverpool away. 23rd of December, Man United at home. 28th of December, Arsenal away. Brighton at home on the 2nd of January, and we then have a 3-week break. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 games.
Yeah.
11 games from the 25th of November to the 2nd of January. 11 games.
8 in December itself.
Yeah.
That is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's mint. absolutely mental, isn't it? It's absolutely mental. You think with the international breaks as well, you think even if we had one less of those international breaks this season, that would have freed up the fixture list for everyone because it would have reduced that sort of it's crazy. I mean, even in January, you've got that 3-week period, but there is that. I think that first week is when the FA Cup third round is, I think.
And then
so,
we lose our players to the African Cup of Nations.
from the 13th of January, yes.
Yeah.
And Moyes spoke about it today, actually. Yesterday, in the interview after the Olympiacos game, someone asked him a question about, and that they are planning for January, whatever that means.
Yeah.
No idea at all. Will Forest pick up some of the Olympiacos players soon? Same owner. Any of those defenders looking good to you for the Hammers? Well, you like Ortega, didn't you?
Yeah, I think he's a really, really exciting prospect. He's only been there at the club. He's only played something like 7 or 8 games, and I've saw 2 of them, and I thought he's been quite impressive. One thing I will say is, Perazzo is an absolute nut job. Back in the defence. But he looks like
Roger Nee looks a solid bloke. The right back,
he's decent on the other side. Yeah, actually, the two fullbacks for them are pretty solid. It's funny. I sometimes judge a player. I know it sounds ridiculous what I'm about to say, but if you're a fullback and you wear your socks so low with tiny shin pads, then you're not your typical defender. You're a go getter. You're a going forward type of player. You like to commit yourself going forward. It sounds really ridiculous. But
I know what you mean, though.
They had their shorts really far, shorts. Their socks pulled far down, tiny shin guards, and were beating forward all the time. And the two of them, Rodri and them, and Perazzo, to be fair, I think he's actually pretty decent, pretty solid defender. Anyway, I know we're talking about something that might not actually happen.
But I was going to say, actually, what is interesting now is the Premier League. I don't know if people have been listening to, keep an eye on the Premier League and the votes and things like that, what they're doing, but they're implementing a new law at the moment, which is going to go to the voting stage soon, which would impact the sort of relationship between Olympiacos and Nottingham Forest and any of the PIA clubs owned in Saudi Arabia,
Newcastle, etc. Yeah,
and so that's actually going to, they reckon that he's going to be passed soon. It only needs 40 out of the 20 members clubs to actually pass that, and it's going to prevent any sort of skullduggery between sharing players from if the owner owns the same. So obviously Evangelos owns Olympiacos, he owns Nottingham Forest as well. So obviously, that could have impact on us if we went to do anything with Sparta Prague, Sparta Prague in terms of Kretinsky. But we don't really do anything with them, to be honest. But it's worth keeping that, because that type of thing's not going to be able to happen soon, which means something like that when we signed Andy Irvine and did all that thing with the Austrian club, that actually will benefit us because we'll be able to do it, through the sort of not the back door, but actually do it officially.
Yeah, 100%.
Very interesting. Brentford got a nice 10-day break in December due to their game against Man City being postponed due to them playing in the World Championship Club. There we go. West Ham could be competing in the 2025 version of that if we have a decent European campaign in America. What we got here? Where's the Irishman? The Irishman is in Tipperary. He's on his way. It's a long way to go, but he's there.
I might be joining them in a couple of weeks. Actually, next week, maybe. I need to tell you that.
You're going to go to Tip? Oh, nice.
Yep.
Very nice too. Fortunas was good in the first game. He was, but he was shit in the second game. Bowen is not the answer to the number 9 spot. Do you agree?
He's not the answer, no. So yeah, I agree. He's not the answer. There's no point in me being about the bush, but he's not actually the answer. No, of course he's not. I think he can play there, but I certainly don't want him to play there all the time. I'd rather him play it wide and cut in like he does, or be the second man. So no, he is not the answer, and I think Moyes knows that. I think West Ham know that. I think the owners know that. I think every fan knows that. 100%.
It's something which we pick up on tomorrow morning with the Saturday Daily Show. There's a couple of players we've been linked with. One being the Bayer Leverkusen striker called Victor Boniface. Who is, and as I said, and I said in the sort of the video bit, it seems everyone in Germany has a striker who's absolutely smashing it at the moment. Harry Kane's doing really well. They've got Sergio Guirassy from Stuttgart, who is doing fantastic, and Boniface, the guy from Bayer Leverkusen, this year has got already 11 goals and 6 assists or something ridiculous like that already.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and apparently we're looking at him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
add that to the list of players we're looking at.
Well, add to the list, and also Victor Gogolairs from formerly of Coventry, who's at Sporting Lisbon. We've been keeping an eye on him as well. But yeah, Torry's there in spirit. Torry's on the booze. He's on the booze. If you want some booze, beer52.com/West Ham. Are there people in Tipperary big tippers? Good idea. That sounds like the beginning of a limerick. So you've had time to relax, digress. Obviously, you came on the show at lunchtime. Thoughts about obviously the difference in opinion when people are talking about Europe and stuff at the moment, and you know, a win is a win, and you know, yesterday obviously we stopped doing the show a bit early because the negativity was a bit sort of like and we were very happy. He was like I don't know what to do and how to react. We had time to decompress, Anton.
Yeah, 100%. And I said it to you earlier on today. Like,
yeah,
I'm absolutely buzzing. And for me, I don't understand why anyone could downgrade the situation we were in. To be honest, I know it's been a bit crap over the last couple of games, but the Europa League is the Europa League, so it gives you a moment to not focus on what's happening in the Premier League, and that's exactly what the Europa Conference League did for us last year. Had a chance to not focus on something, but the Europa League to me is the same. And my God, watching those draws getting made, we do the shows when we do the draws, and it's so exciting. It's absolutely it really is exciting. It's thinking, oh my God, we're playing this team, we're playing that team, and I can't believe now, you know, Russ, we can put to bed. Finally, I was thinking about this again today. It's like you think about West Ham's European journeys, and you think Intertoto Cup, Mets, and you can name some of the teams we played then, Heerenveen, all that sort of stuff. And then you can think about the jokey times where we got beat by clubs that don't exist anymore. Astra Gugu. You can think of Palermo when we played them in the UEFA Cup, all that sort of stuff, and had no real vibe in Europe, no real history. The last bit of history you had to go back to was during my dad's era when we were not even fucking born. And suddenly we have memories, and our memories are Sevilla, Lyon, Fiorentina, AEK Larnaca, Bacatapola, Olympiacos. Like some of them I'm thrown in just for the sake of it, but who fucking cares? Because we
the fact is you can though. That's the thing. You can.
Genk, clubs that have got long histories of playing in European tournaments, and suddenly, Russ, we have kind of jokingly forgot about Astra Gugu, and have forgot about Palermo, and have forgot about the failed attempts at Europe, which were drastically awful. To suddenly look at them and go, "Wow, we're competing," and not to look at that stat lightly about West Ham winning in Europe at home and West Ham having an unbeaten run in Europe lightly. Like I think it's a bit ridiculous if we don't look at that and take that serious. It's an absolutely amazing achievement, because you can go through any competition in the world. You can be the best team in the world and not win every single game and still win the competition. But we won the competition and won every single game, or we're unbeaten in every single game as well. So for me, I've had a chance to decompress. I'm absolutely over the moon where we are. I'm not over the moon now because we focus onto the Premier League, and I want us to change it up a little bit. And I want us to win a game. And I think it's come down to the fact that maybe I am a sort of person that just wants West Ham to win games rather than play good football. Because if you're saying to me you had to choose one or the other, then who would want good football over and lose than the other way around? That's if we keep or start to win again and progress. If we don't, it's different.
I think it's really interesting when we had Greg on just like a little bit earlier, and he was basically a Nottingham Forest fan, and he's just, to be honest, thinking about what you guys go and Brighton, it's like a pipe. It's like a pipe dream, us playing in Europe and going to these European places and being and I think actually sometimes you think where, and he says, well, you guys were in the Championship with us, and now you're, competing in Europe. You've won a trophy, and He said, I'd bite your hand off to win a trophy. And I think sometimes, it's always the West Hamers. It's always like we look for the bump in the road. We look for the speed
but
bump.
I think also though, if I'm being really honest as well, there's a kind of I don't know. I don't really have a fear to say what I want to say when I come on a channel, our channel, West Ham Network. Even if I go on anyone else's channel, I don't really have a fear. I'm going to say what I want because it's my opinion, and I hate even saying that. It's my opinion. It is my opinion, and I don't want to keep just ranting on with that because I could call you a wanker, Russ, and just say that's my opinion. That doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's right. I think the point I'm trying to make, but the point I'm trying to make is, and again, like what Timothy said there, is it not possible? It absolutely is.
Yeah, totally.
I completely agree, but we're not playing the best football. Sometimes we are, and sometimes we're not. But I brought this conversation up with my dad, and I'm not saying whatever he says is the oracle of supporting West Ham, but I was intrigued to hear from a particular fan who does not engage with social media, who's been part of an era, who's witnessed things, I sit and listen to him and I watch games with him, and he says, why the fuck is Moyes not doing that?
Yeah.
Why the fuck is Moyes not doing that? Why the fuck is Moyes not putting Mabama on? Why is he sticking with a certain player, etc.? And then I said, Dad, so what do you want? He said, I just want to win games.
Yeah.
So I said, Dad, do you look at the last 3 years of success as a West Ham fan or not successful? And he says, absolutely successful. I'm buzzing. I've had more exciting memories over the last 3 years than I've had in the last 20. In the last 20, 30 years, you could say. So
yeah, and I think it's really, as I said yesterday, I had the pleasure of talking to West Ham legend Ray Stewart in the press lounge. We had a good old natter for about half an hour, and he brought up the Ange Postecoglou. He said that, and he's like, I was hearing all this bollocks about, well done for winning. He was a fucking idiot. He shouldn't. We could have easily.
Liverpudlian? Was he Liverpudlian?
I know. I should have done the accent better. I was talking to Mark Wall. That's the trouble.
You mean he was going like that? You fucking idiot.
Yeah, fuck it. I couldn't really understand him too much, but he was sort of saying it. He's like, it's about winning, but getting points on the board and and stuff like that. And it's interesting, and he's a guy who's played the game, and he goes, I saw this bollocks about what Spurs fans clap. They lost fucking 4-1, and it doesn't matter. The scoreboard it says 4-1, and I understood where he's come from. I understand other people going, he went for it, he had a go. But it's really interesting, even like there, I reckon if I spoke to someone who was maybe, I don't know, if I spoke to John Moncur about the same thing, he'd have a different opinion. And even them, guys who've played the game, played hundreds of games for West Ham, still they'd have different opinions. And so, hey, Nick's in the chat. Hello, Nicky boy. I haven't done. I'm going to do some analysis. We've probably lost more than 50 games under.
But this is interesting though, because I want to address this comment, Nick. So the choice is good football or win. My goodness, Anton, we have neither. We have lost over 50% of the last 49 games. We mostly beat shit teams. Nick, we used to get beat by shit teams. And that's my memory as a West Ham fan. Coming away from West Ham Network, Claret and Booze, my memory as West Ham fans is we turn up against shit teams, we get beat. We turn up against Astra Gugus, we get beat. We turn up against League One opposition, we get beat. We turn up against Kidderminster and we just scrape through. We turn up against MK Dons, we get beat. I've got so many shit memories of shit times at West Ham. And right now, I'll take 50% of our games getting lost if it means that we win a fucking tournament. And that's just where I'm at. Yeah. And that might piss you off, Nick. It might piss other people off. But I genuinely don't care because I want to see West Ham win. And I'm not sacrificing anything else for that right now. And for me, it's about winning things. And people are saying, but you can't sell your soul to win things. Well, I tell you what, when we didn't win things, we still played shit. So
yeah. And I think, and when we didn't win things, people, although we go, oh, look at them, oh, the Barrett, they gone for oil money and I think part of they would be, not everyone, not saying it's everyone, not targeting everyone, but some people go, oh, well, I wish that was us once. I wish that's us to win a trophy once, and I wish be in Europe once. We've done it 3 years in the trot. We've won. And actually now it's like, now the aspiration is we want to do that, and we want to play good football. Everyone wants us to play good football. I'd love to play some good football, but at the moment, that's not going to happen. We play a certain style of football, which is relatively effective in terms of getting, won our first trophy in 43 years. Yes, it was a third. People go, oh, it's a third-rate trophy, but I don't give a shit. It was a trophy, and it's something we put in our. It's one thing that's, as I said, it's something which when we had Greg, the Nottingham Forest fan, on, he'd have said, I'd have bitten my arm off to have won a trophy. And he hasn't had.
Do you think we have been led to expect more big stadium, higher ticket prices? Last night was so boring. But do you not think that you've had more? I'm trying to tread carefully here to not come across like I am bored fans, right? Because I'm not. So that's that point across. Am I Moyes in, Moyes out? I'm neither. There you go. Point across. But on this point, for me, how can anyone look at the last 3 years and think any remote, well, you're allowed to think remote negativity, but the positivity outweighs the negativity in my head, because why? We are 3 years in a row, and I don't understand it. Show your channel the Moist Shrine. Yeah, it's there. Don't you worry.
It's back there.
And so on. We have a full team of stars. That ain't down to Moyes. The board have been pumping money into this team for years, including Pellegrini. Moyes is in the way. They have, but I maintain my stance on the board, not just that West Ham have been pumping money into the club. Every club have been getting pumped money into them. Every single club have been getting money pumped into them, and it's relative to the size of the club, for the size of the stadium, and all that sort of stuff. And you can look back at the history of Bournemouth over the last few years and see their trajectory of money that they've spent. But look at the money they've spent with the size of stadium that they've got, with the owners that they've got, and the comparison. For me, there is levels. I'm not trying to say that West Ham are disrespectfully bigger than Bournemouth, but we've got a bigger fan base, we've got a bigger stadium. So you think that things would be relative to our spending. You would expect us to be able to spend more. Does that mean we are going to get the best out of our players? No, because there's other clubs out there that I just think that there's times that are relative. The Pellegrini, people wanted the change back then, and it was a fucking disaster. And it didn't happen. I'm not saying that I don't want to be stung like that again. I'm all for change. Absolutely. No one should be against change. You need to innovate. You need to change. And I'm all for that. But I just don't buy the whole kind of, it's fucking rotten, it's fucking shit. Unless it's your opinion, that's fine. That you're entitled to that. But what I was saying is, right now, what you find shit, I find happiness. and that shows you how, I'd eat your shit. Then there you go. I would fucking eat your gold-plated shit, because that makes me fucking happy. And I've got
that's going to be clipped, isn't it?
It is, but I don't give a fuck, because I'm happy.
Yeah, and I think
I'm not happy. Listen,
I think the fact is, there is, and we've said this so many times. There is a spectrum. There's people on either side of the spectrum, and they will twist the narrative to suit their own argument. So no one will ever win an argument, because they won't. Because I think the one thing we can all agree on is we'd love to see good football and win games, because that is the holy grail. That is the holy grail. And I think that the narrative does get changed in the same way that people will say, oh, stop looking at the last 3 years. Then that same group of people will say, oh, we spent this amount of money. Well, that's looking at the same period and stuff. People are going, oh, he's playing shit football. Other people say we've won a trophy. So there's always going to be this sort of seesaw. And we know it. I mean, we was listening to, Nick had his Spaces thing on the other day, wasn't it? And there was people who were for the argument and people who are against the argument. But that's what's exciting, though. I love it.
Yeah, but you've got Moyes out and you've got Moyes in. You've got people in the middle that are looking at both of them and going, why the fuck is he even talking about it? And I feel like that's where I am. And that looks like I am then Moyes in. Not Moyes out, but I'm not. I'm actually kind of going, why are you talking about Moyes out? Why are you talking about Moyes in? Just look at West Ham and see what we're going to do. What will be. Sorry, Russ, that comment back there, the one, where is it? Where are we? do I remember what good football actually is? So I was born in 1983 into a West Ham family, right? So I've missed the good era, but we've had good years over that time. Over the last 40 years, we've had some good years. So I've saw a little bit of the West Ham way. I've not necessarily saw the West Ham way, but what I tell you I have saw and what I have seen is a European Cup win more than I've saw the West Ham way. And I'll take that every day of the week.
Yeah. And I think you would do. I think, but at the end of the day, you at the end of the day, when you're looking back in history, you're not going to say, "Oh, do you remember that goal that scored in?" Oh, the interplay between the. No, you're going to remember. Do you remember that one? Do you remember where you were when we won in Prague? Do you remember the trophy celebrations around Stratford? You will, because it will pale in comparison to 20 years time. That's what people think of.
But Russ, where were you? Where were you when we beat Lyon? Where were you when we beat Sevilla? And the funny thing is, where were you when we beat Viborg? I can fucking remember where it was when we beat Viborg.
What I'm saying is we have a look at the people that we there's a certain group of people we idolize who have won the FA Cups. For a generation, it would be the 85-86 squad that people would have still have aspirations for. They finished third, and we still had aspirations, and we still loved them. They almost got relegated the year after. So it's like so people forget. We've been a yo-yo club. This is the longest period we've been in the top flight, and now money is so important in terms of survival for a football club. You need to be. This is a great point. And this is what West Ham's all about. Budgie took his friend passed away, took his 18-year-old son to his first game, asked if it was boring. He saw West Ham winning the European game. Exactly. And that's what it's all about. It is about memories, and it is about those nuggets. You remember one game or this game or this game. It's not about a whole season, because very rarely it's a whole season. We have a season where we've done really well throughout the whole season, unless it's maybe a championship season where we've torn teams apart. West Ham have these games. We turn up. These games, this game. And the thing is, we don't know when it's going to be. No one predicted the Arsenal game. No one predicted that. And we turned up, and it was brilliant. And everyone was happy. And then the Brentford game, and we were shit. And that is the microcosm of being a West Ham fan. That's it. We know it's going to happen.
Irish Tommy says, given the amount of money that's been pumped into the squad, we should be able to expect better football. Still managed 12th and losing at home to Everton. We may as well good to watch. I completely agree with you. Everyone would rather play better football, more exciting football, more extravagant football, and win games. Absolutely. I'm trying to think of consistently successful teams that do that. I don't buy right now the Aston Villa chat, unless at the end of the season they are where they are, and that's fine.
And next year as well.
Then come back to the argument. And then next year, then come back with the argument. It's fine to say that just now. Brighton, maybe. Exception. They beat Ajax last night 2-1, I think it was. But I think they're on a run of games of like winning only 2 games in 20-odd games or something
ridiculous.
Like that.
Yeah, they've
all
the last 5. Yeah,
Albeit, they're still doing all right in points in the league. They've got early points. But it's not that I'm disagreeing with you on that point. I want to see good football. Anyone would not want to see that. I remember going away to Oldham in the cup when we lost 6-0 down the Conga. Yeah, absolutely.
I remember, and again, people talk about the wonder years of Upton Park. I remember a horrible evening game. We lost 3-0 to Leeds. I think it was Jonah and fucking Mike New up front, and it was absolute dross. Absolute joss. And I remember those games. I remember the really good games. I remember really shit games. I remember the games against Aston Villa where they scored in the first minute, we equalised, and nothing happened for the other 88 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's having those memories. And we've got this now. We've got some really nice memories now.
I don't enjoy football, mate. I absolutely love football. I really enjoy watching West Ham play because it's absolutely exciting. And as our good friend Nigel says, goals is fun. You just enjoy winning, absolutely.
Surely that's the goal, isn't it? Yeah, isn't the goal in football to win something? You don't get a trophy for finishing 17th.
Winning at all costs is opposite to what the West Ham fan base is all about. Well, what is West Ham all about, Nick? That's the question I would like to ask you. Because when I asked my dad about the era of supporting the club, home and away, every single game of his life, watching us be successful during that era, was every single game flamboyant and exciting to watch? No. Was there terrible games? Yes. Did we turn up in certain games and play really well? Absolutely. Was the FA Cup final against Arsenal a good FA Cup final for West Ham? No. What happened? We just scored a fucking goal, a good goal, and it's going down in memories with Sir Trevor Brooking. And that's, I wasn't born in that era. And since when have we become a glory hunting fan base? Since we won the fucking European Cup. And do you know what? I want more. I simply want.
You're probably
more.
right. I think people do want more. And Nick will get his wish in the summer. And things will change in the summer. We know, that they TalkSport said it. He's unlikely to get. The only way David Moyes is going to get another contract is if he probably wins something again.
Yeah.
In all honesty, because it said the wording was said it was unlikely. So he's basically on a contract. So if he doesn't win anything, he's not got a new contract. And we know that's the way it's going to happen. And as I said, the Daily Show tomorrow. In the morning, talk about Will Still. Will Still has basically said, "Come and get me, West Ham." It's in the summer, so keep an eye out for that tomorrow morning.
Good friend of the channel, Leon, who we need to get you on, mate. I've been talking away to him over the last couple of months, so we need to get you on, mate. We played really good football under Zola and almost went down. You can say that again.
Yeah.
We also played really shit under Avram Grant and did go down. So Anton asked if you'd swap Emery from Moyes. You said no. I stand by that, mate, because I think I gave my justification at the time. The reason why I wouldn't want Emery right now is with our current ownership. I think that would be a match made in hell. And right now, for me, if I want to see what Emery does. I know he's got the history out in Spain. I'm not saying I wouldn't have taken. I'm saying with our current ownership, that was my reasoning behind it. I would not take Emery, so I stand by that. No to Emery under our current ownership.
It's really interesting to see. The noise has been coming out the club that the board are really impressed with the stuff that Tim's doing, and now very much he is seen as Sullivan's number 2, and he's taking over the reins of all football operations at the moment. So, in Tim we trust, and so we and obviously something that we want. People want Moyes out, and that's great. And you say, who do you want back? Who's going to replace him? And they go, I don't know. But in Tim we trust, and we do trust. So it's it's going to be fascinating. Russ, if we'd won if we'd won a third level don't you think we'd win it? Don't you? No, what? No, Tim. What I'm saying is, I think that's what I'm saying is, we did win. We've won something now, so we hadn't won anything for the last 40 years, and so we have won a trophy now, which is great. I did enjoy it. It's great. I didn't enjoy the Greenwood era, but it's gotten us results. And the Greenwood. I don't know what it is. What? I don't
enjoy it, but it has gotten us great results in 3 seasons.
I get it.
I don't think for me it's about being petrified. It's about putting the faith in whatever the system is. We highly believe that Moyes, and we all know for a fact of whether it's going to be in 3 games, 6 months, a year's time, it's not going to be Moyes in charge of West Ham. We are all definitely aware of that. For me, it's just about doing the right thing at the right time. And I don't feel the right thing to jump ship now is the right thing, unless there is a real clear rot. And for me, the evidence, in my opinion, doesn't define a clear rot at the club. 3 more losses in the Premier League, which still would maintain us being reasonably far up the league, is what I'm willing to give David Moyes, because unfortunately, no manager is worthy of losing 6 or 7 games in the Premier League. And Moyes has now created that situation, so it's down to him to turn that round again and change it. So I think
you're totally right. I think no manager is immune to that, apart from Burnley's manager at the moment, it seems. But he's lost 4 in a row at the moment. So I'm the same. I think petrified's a really that's quite a strong word. I'd love if it's gonna work, then everything that we do is a gamble. Everything, it was a gamble. It's a gamble to twist. It's a gamble to stick. I used to go to clubs.
I'm sorry, I used to go to clubs and dance and score. I bet you went to get drunk. Nah, I went to do that right there. That's all you got. Score. What was it all about? The end result, mate. It was all about the end result. You could have stood. You could have talked. I had a mate that done it, and he was the most successful geezer in the world. He hardly done anything in a nightclub until the end of the night. He was like, "Hey, what's happening, y'all?" But it wasn't his child line. And then bosh, it was done.
Hey, what's happening, y'all?
And playing good football is important. Maltese, I'm not saying it's not.
Totally is. You're totally right. It's all about playing. You want to play good football. Of course, you want to play good football. But it was one of the Irish Tommy. When Moyes goes, there will be a handful of games to stick, and that's it. And that football is about memories. Irish Tommy. I mean, you go back to 85, 86. No one remembers about losing 3-1 to Everton the first game of the season. Away from home. No one remember that. You won't remember that unless you look at the numbers. And so you're going to have memories. There's games that stick out. You've got the Newcastle 8-1. In the 85, 86 season. You go back to certain games and you're going to get these memories, and that's what football is all about. It's about creating memories. We're never going to we're never going to be in the top four, and the only way we would be in the top four would be if we have a massive injection of money, and then Nick will say we're glory hunters. So it's like we're never going to win, are we? So it's I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, this is a good question. What happens if we lose on Sunday? I don't think anything will happen personally. That's just my own personal opinion.
It won't.
No. And I think
you may want it to, but I don't think it will.
Yeah, I don't think it will, because it doesn't matter how many hours we talk about this, how many times you're on Twitter, how many tweets you send out. The fact is, we don't make the decisions, and that's it. We don't know.
I fucking would, yes.
Yeah,
I absolutely would. I would, because he consistently survives.
It's like, I was going to say like a cockroach. That's the worst expression.
He consistently survives.
But yeah. How many times has we had this save your job game, and those are always the games he ends up fucking winning, innit?
Yeah.
I remember you used to have a save our season. I remember back in Upton Park, we'd literally advertise them as save our season matches. I remember playing like Wigan and we lost, and another game we'd always lose our save our season matches. But now it's save your job matches. You always end up winning.
Yeah.
We're up 16 if we lose to Forest, yeah. Probably.
We could probably go further up the league, though, if we win as well. I mean, it works every way as well. But listen, Nick, I'm not digging. Listen, I've got a lot of time for you as well, mate, and stuff like that. And I know we've got different opinions on it. And that's fine. That's totally fine. I live in a positive mindset to do with everything in my life. And I'm not saying you don't, but I just can't. I have a battle in my head to deal with negativity, especially coming off the back of a win like last night, which was important to me and important to my family, that West Ham won that game, and to a lot of people I know, and a lot of people I know who are not on social media, a lot of West Ham fans I know that are not on social media or not active on social media, that don't think in one way, that actually think in a. I mean, I could honestly go as far as saying the majority of people I speak to who are not on social media who are West Ham fans, which is a lot. Are not Moyes in or Moyes out. They're just smack bang in the middle and don't understand why there's a conversation.
Yeah.
And then it looks like online there could be a lot more of Moyes out-ish.
Yeah. Definitely. I think about 70-30 on average. I mean, Nick had 90-something but it's Nick's channel. Cameron's chat had 70-30. Someone else had 60-40. So it's about, the average is about 70 on social media. But I mean, when we just had Greg just now, from Nottingham Forest, he can't believe what he's hearing in terms of looking at the timeline. People talk about Moyes out. He's like, but you're an established Premier League side now. You've just won a European trophy. I'd bite your hand off. I think sometimes when you're out, again, say outside the bubble looking in, we sometimes don't appreciate where we are at the moment. That's the way I think, and that's always been, it's like I'm enjoying the ride. I'm not saying enjoying the football. I'm enjoying the ride because it is 3 years on the trot, European football. We probably won't be in European football this year. Maybe, you never know, but it's a bit touch and go this year or the following year. But we haven't had it for 20 years beforehand. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's like there's no right.
But I think it's okay to say that. Like, it's not like we can keep bringing that up. It's vital to bring that up because it's part of the argument. It's not even part of the argument. It's part of the facts. The facts are that we didn't do this and now we've done it. Has that consistently progressed the club? Yes. If we got relegated this year, it'd be fucking disaster.
Yeah,
but
totally.
If we solidify and travel far in a cup competition, that's going to piss off a lot of fans. But if we won something and we solidified and finished 12th, 13th, 14th, would I accept that? The answer to that simple question is
we've had conversations. People have said before, they'd rather us finish 16th than win a trophy.
Yeah.
And so that same rhetoric is now not working. And that's why I don't say it's when the narratives change. That's what I don't understand. And maybe it's because people jump on the bandwagon with each other. And, it's like someone said, you're going to do a poll on Moyes? Not really, because at the end of the day, it's always going to be, it's going to be about 60, 70% out.
Maltese, it's not not doing it. We've done one before. I think we've done one like last year on Twitter when it was Twitter. It was quite highly attended. It was highly attended. It got shared a lot, but it still only represented a minority of fans. I think it reached something like 5,000 people who voted, and it was still a minority of fans. I wouldn't be surprised now if I did this. The chat would be probably 60-40, 70-30, Moyes out. So be it, but that's what I expect.
And it's, as you said, it's a subset, isn't it? I mean, we had, I think Nick did one the other day. It was like 400.
I'll do one.
Well, I don't see a point. Nick said Nick did one about 400. I think it was people voted, and you got to think that's 400 people. Is that representative? Unless you get 1 million people voting, you're never going to do it. So it's always. And it's always the, people on either extremes are the ones you hear the loudest. So you have Nick, you'll have someone like Alfie, who's very Moyes in. And that's the thing. Same as, various other people. But that's what being in a society where you can talk like that is all about. What are you doing?
I've done the poll. I'm just watching it. It's pretty funny.
It's going to be 90% Moyes out.
It's
because
funny.
Nick's voted 20 times. We should win, but I still want to watch football. Of course you do, Tim. And so do we. We're not, I'm not saying I don't want to watch decent football, but we do. What we said, what did Tommy said? Moyes definitely isn't getting sacked. The club seem happy to write off the season rather than make a change. Bizarre situation. I think it is. I think they've dealt with the situation very poorly. I think actually in the summer there was 3 options. Moyes goes, Moyes stays and has a new contract, or Moyes stays and sees out the last year of his contract. And they picked the worst option because there's no chance of any development of the squad. Everything he wants to bring in is for the now, whereas Steindl wants to bring in people who he's going to develop. And that was the issue. Now that issue apparently is not so much of an issue now because people are now basically saying, it's Steindl's way of the highway. Do you know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, don't forget to like stream. Let's do something. I'm gonna win something. Let's get something. I'm gonna do a giveaway. I'm in a good mood. Don't know why. Nick's in the chat. I'm joking, Nick. Love you really, man. Right. Okay. We're gonna put in. Okay. This. What's you in the chat? If you want to win, let's get what we got here. Let's do something. Oh, nice prim. That one. Can I get that one? Yeah. No, that's this one. Let's give away a print. What we got here? Oh, nice. That's a special one. No, I'm going to keep that one. That's a special one. Anton's disappeared. There we go. Let's give away a signed West Ham notebook. What we got here? Let's give one of these away. Now, in the chat, I want you to, it's quite simple. Tony Cotty, signed West Ham notebook, available on Amazon. Now, to win that, I want you to put in the chat just one word. One word. I want you to put in Moyes. I was going to put Moyes in, but and then I want you to simply put in the word Moyes. To just put that in the chat, just one word, Moyes. Just Moyes. There we go. Just put that in the chat, and then what we'll do is we'll draw that in a tick. So Green Street, Pete, and we'll get that drawn in a tick. What are you laughing at? I voted Moyes in for Anton. See, I told you, he really is. Russell want to finish 6th with no cups and good football. That'd be lovely. My friend. You plan to finish 17th and win a trophy. That's an unrealistic expectation. Trophies are a loss of you. The league is the key indication of the man's performance over a year. Thank you very much, Nicholas, for that. I just want more consistency. Yeah, we'd all like some consistency. But when have we ever had it? When have we ever had consistency in the league?
Well, what is consistency?
I don't know. See, Ian can't even do it. Can't do it. Well, you're not going to win. Moyes, that's it. Well done. We're going to draw it in 1 minute. So just put Moyes in the chat. You can't put Moyes out. Well, technically, you ain't counting, Nick, because you put Moyes out. He's got to say Moyes. I was going to do Moyes and the heart emoji just to really piss you off. But anyway, we're going to draw that in a tick. And then we'll give something away. We always give stuff away on the West Ham Network. And as I said, if you want some free beer, our brand new channel sponsors, Beer 52, are giving away you a free crate of 8 exclusive lagers. All you got to do is put in West Ham Network, West Ham, beer52.com/West Ham.
Please understand this, right? This is a simple process. If you would like a free beer crate, then go into Beer 52. It's not beers, it's Beer52.com
Oh, yeah.
/West Ham.
I've had a few.
What
That's why I put beers.
What you do is you go on and you sign up and you get delivered
you don't.
a crate of beer.
You don't,
I don't yet. Mine's on the way. And you get a couple of snacks in it as well. Then you enter into a subscription model. You can cancel that at any point whenever you want. But if you like the beer, then you don't need to. So I currently do it. I do a subscription model with my coffee. It comes from London, down in Grind. And they send it out to me, in actual fact. And the funny thing is, I started off because I got a great deal. And I'm 3 months in and I keep forgetting to cancel it. I'm like, fuck. They sent me an email sending me up more. Anyway, I do need it anyway. So
right. Okay, let's give away. Let's give away something. Let's just do this. Let's give this away. Let's give away a book.
Football Christ the Redeemer. That's what you need to call him, mate.
Christ the
Redeemer. Not football Antichrist. Christ the Redeemer.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Right, let's
actually, do you know what? I'm putting a poll out saying, is Nick the next West Ham manager?
Tend to agree or tend to disagree. Right. Nick's in it. I can put Moyes out. So technically he's in because he's put Moyes in. Oh, please. And obviously, if West Ham Network win, we'll respin it. And if Nick wins, we'll respin it. John Murdoch. Well done, John. Regular contributor to the chat. Thank you very, very much. John, if you could email us at westhamnetwork@gmail.com, we'll get that sent out to you straight away when I can remember to do it. It was about 3 weeks' time. But that'd be great. Thank you so much.
I don't mean to laugh, Tommy, because I fucking love you to bits, mate. And it's just, it hurts my soul.
Isn't that a line from a song?
Yeah.
It hurts my soul. Anyway, so John, well done, John. Well done. You've won. Tony Cotty signed West Ham Network. Available on Amazon. West Ham Network.
Listen, with all due respect as well, we do give away a lot of shit.
Not shit, like good stuff. Like,
a lot of stuff though. Shit's good shit sometimes.
Yeah.
I said I would eat fucking Nick shit.
It's gold-plated shit. Gold-plated shit.
But
gold-plated shit.
We do give away a lot of shit on a lot of stuff on the channel. So and especially in the membership option as well.
Yeah, we've given away 3. Actually, Duke, if Duke's listening, Duke, you won the Sign West Ham Football. You've got to message me, otherwise I'm going to give it to someone else.
Well, what as in Duke?
Duke, yeah, he won it. He's a member.
I was messaging him last night, so I'll message him.
Yeah, because he won it. So anyone can win it. We'll have for the next one. We've got I'll tell you what, nice. Oh, nickel like this. Woo! Let me go full screen.
That.
Go full screen. This will be for the next draw.
Boys of 86.
Boys of 86. We've got Dickens, signed by Mark Ward, Ray Stewart. We've got Newell, Phil Parks, Pikey, Gailey. I don't know in the middle. I don't know. That might be no. We've got Dev, Macca, we've got Alvin, Anton, not you, Georgie Parrish and Tony Cotty. All, and that's to be one of the ones we give away to our members next, which will be December. So keep an eye on the channel for that, or anyone who's a channel member automatically gets entered into that. So yeah, that's sexy, indeed. And I think we've got, and if Duke don't claim the football, we're giving that away as well. Indeed, what a team!
Oh, he will. We'll get.
Yeah, great. Yeah, great team. 8586, fantastic. Finished third, and then almost got relegated the season after. Anyway, absolutely. Consistency in the league. There we go. But we love Ray. As I said, we had Ray. I said a good old chat. We're getting back on the channel soon. Have a good old chat with Ray. He loves it. He loves it. He loves it.
You know what though? The one thing I will say is, all jokes aside, right? Everyone's absolutely allowed their opinion, but totally. We are West Ham. We are West Ham, and the one thing I don't want to do is and I won't do it, is fall out with people, because we've been there, done that, wore the t-shirt too many times.
Not at all.
And we're not doing that. So again, I think it's really important. For example, because Tommy's in the chat as well, it's really important, Tommy, that you're on the channel and you do what you do and say what you say, because it shows that we don't want to show it that it's just what me and Russ think, and there's been times where me and you would disagree, Russ, and sometimes
Definitely.
you can be you're probably more harsh on the Moyes situation than what I am. You definitely are. People don't think it, but you definitely are more harsh on the Moyes situation than I am. But it's really good to have people like Tommy come on and Budgie and Kieran and even Nick when he comes on the channel, and Luke and different people from different opinions. I think that's what
we try and do. Is we try to give you a microcosm, because it's not the rhetoric, the narrative is not one way. There is a whole spectrum. So we try and get people from different sides of the spectrum, from different countries as well. So we get Rich from South Africa, or we get some Kieran from Australia, or the American guys, or get them all over to just dish out new opinions. Obviously, Dennis came on the channel yesterday to give his opinion of the game, and so again another voice. So we try and get as many voices on. We've got the West Ham View boys as well, Kieran and Budgie. They'll be back doing their old school hammers as well in association with Old School Clothing, with Kaz's clothing brand.
He's got some new stuff out as well, really quality stuff.
I like the new one. Yeah. Don't worry, I've messaged him already.
Have you? Yeah, Russ, don't get them all sent to you though this time.
Oh, what? They've sent two. They're out of the pitch now, so Untuck It. Now we've got Beer 52 and Surf Shock. But yeah, no. Oh, all the t-shirts have been sent to me again. Oh, did you not get Anton's address? But yeah, we'll get some stuff on anyway. I better go to bed because I could be up early in the morning.
Yeah, same, mate. Same.
Yeah, I can't do these late nights like Irish Tommy. Can't do them for 2.5 hours. But yeah, he's got stamina as that boy, but he's a long way to go to Tipperary. Anyway, as I said, we've got tomorrow.
Wait, Russ, before you go, good question. Where are we? What are your predictions for Forest? So put it in the chat if you're watching right now. Give us your predictions for the game. Russ, hold your thought. There's a question coming from me. Is there anything that Moyes could do that would make me flip? I think it will happen this season. Everyone has a breaking point. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, mate, I'm in the middle ground. Comes across like I'm not. I'm just not Moyes out. I'm not Moyes in. But absolutely losing more games. It's simple for me. Then yeah, it's unbreakable. It's undeniable that he's he's on a sticky wicket, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call it. A sticky what?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's a cricket analogy, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So he's on shaky legs, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely. So, if the rock kicks in and I feel like, listen, again, I'm not going to deny lose to Nottingham Forest and my feelings will start to sway. Last season, my feelings started to sway on the lead up to the Fulham game. I was edging towards a little bit like, maybe it is time that Moyes needs to go. And again, I don't deny, I don't want the long-term contract of Moyes because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. So I'm putting faith in what's currently happening behind the scenes in the hope that whatever they've got a plan for is a better, sustainable future at the club. That also means that we do get to see a bit of youth. I would like to see that. I can't defend the argument of Danny Ings and Antonio. No one can.
No,
there's no defense on it. The problem is when you. Yeah, there's no problem. We could go into a whole nother fucking show. So
yeah, very true. I've got a dash. I've got the.
Well, I'm just going to quickly jump through the scores. 3-1 West Ham from Matt. 1-0 or 2-1 Forest from Peter. 1-0 Forest from Tougher Brendan. 2-1 loss from GP. Moyes brings on them. Budgie says West Ham 3-1. Ben says 2-1. Timothy says West Ham should win 2-0. The poll. Let me just quickly do the poll. 75% said Moyes out. Actually, 73% said Moyes out. 26% said Moyes in. Just a small poll anyway. But there you go. West Ham should win 2-0. Mubama will get 45 seconds at the end of the game. Here you go.
There we go.
It's certainly not a poll I'm going to put out on the internet, Nick, to prove a point. That's not what I'm going to do.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for joining us as always. We'll be back with all the fun of the fair for the next couple of days, and on Monday we'll be doing the ratings. And we've beaten Forest, hopefully.
Get behind the team.
Get behind
support
the
team.
And
Watch
until
for the
next
best.
time, for myself and Manson, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Keep it safe, my friends.
Beer52.com/West Ham.
Yeah, much love. Irons.
Irons.
Irons.